our favorite little spot under the apricot tree where all the little birds love to come. And our beautiful white lilac is in full bloom right now. We've got quail in here every day. I think we have a couple here because there was a little egg somebody got into. But look at that gorgeous white lilac is the sumac, Staghorn sumac ash right there. Starting to really take off. It's about 10 feet tall now. The beautiful cover crops. And this Mother's Day, some of the peas have started to bloom. So we'll be eating nice little peas. These are blackberries taking off along the fence line. And we're finished with the crabapple blossoms. As the sand cherry blossoms have stopped too. Got a bunch of little peaches in that little peach tree. We're almost done with the Siberian Pea Shrub flowers. The little blue out there. But isn't it beautiful to see this green cover crop under a big, huge apricot tree? So happy. It's just beautiful to see this. His Siberian Pea Shrub. It's really beautiful. Look at that Siberian Pea Shrub in there by the other apricot tree. It's just loaded. And our Honeycrisp apple, whoop, we're going to have to trim that center branch out and leave those 3 scaffolding limbs as Grant taught us. Just growing up top, like that poor Rainier we keep trying to get to stop growing up top. There's our beautiful red carnelian cherry bush there. Hopefully it'll have tons. You can see all the blossoms have dried up and going to fruit. And then our little hardy kiwi girls taking off there. But again, like last year, our sunchokes are really slow this year. Our little patch of golden raspberries taking off while our Nanking cherry over there is going to produce some berries soon. It was loaded in blossoms. Both of them were this year. Another sand cherry there, full of blossoms as we come around. And every year, our red blood plum is getting stronger and healthier leaves, as our gooseberries are so beautiful here. Behind this shading, unusual tree of golden currant. Doesn't bloom, doesn't have fruit, but it sure produced some great shade right there we needed for this summer. And look, we've been eating with everybody that comes in the food forest and bringing to neighbors these wonderful little Siberian Pea Shrub flowers that taste like peas. And our grapevines are taking off everywhere, growing up the trees. Our peach tree here has got some little blossoms left, thank goodness. And we are loaded this year, as our bees are all buzzing around. We have our red currant and our favorite mulberry. Or mulberry. Let's see. Uh-oh. This is a first. I think there's some mulberries right there. But I think somebody's been eating the tender little mulberries maybe on our mulberry tree this year. There's little ones developing there. Maybe. And we've got our serviceberry patch there and our bamboo shoots. Solani's going to come dig these out for her garden. There's our bamboo shoots coming up along our bamboo wall. We'll give those away and just leave the other established ones. We haven't seen any mushrooms because we haven't had any rain. But here come our cover crop of lentils we planted about a month ago. They're all popping up out of the ground as the peas we planted in the fall. And look at all the potato plants this year. That's amazing. They've been spreading like crazy. Look how cute those little lentil sprouts are coming up. as we come around the beautiful Hawthorne Berry. We're going to be doing a nature walk in here with Tasha Nelson on May 23rd. But look at all the little cover crops coming up everywhere. All different kinds. We've got daikon radish we threw in there as well. Oh, this is the little quail egg that somebody got into their little nest. So sad. Well, it's nature. Oh, look at all the... Tasha's going to be excited. Hawthorne berries on that one. And we're going to dig out a hawthorne berry bush that we've been growing for 6 years for Tasha. She's excited. And here's our beautiful Alberta Peach that we love so much every year. It has 4-inch peaches. It's starting to develop there. And this Siberian Pea Shrub is creating good shade over here by our rainwater harvesting. Catching off the roof 500 feet away. We can't even see the roof anymore. It's so green in the garden. But it all comes down into these infiltration basins that go all the way down. And look at our linden this year. Oh, he's healthy and strong and happy. He's really beautiful this year. And here comes our big hibiscus, 40 plus years old now. And we've got a black raspberry that's been growing here. We're letting it grow up with the linden. So we'll pick little raspberries up the linden tree. Isn't that fun? Right there. We've got little raspberry plants there. A lot of people ordered raspberries this year. We pretty much ran out of any baby start. There's a beautiful Siberian Pea Shrub. There's Tasha's blooming right now Hawthorne Berry. You can see the little blossoms. Let me see if I can get a close-up of these little blossoms. Look at all of them. Wow, that's beautiful. Tasha will love that. And then we've got the natural. It has more yellow little berry crabapple. And wow, look at our wild blackberry. Going crazy there. See, we've got one that wants to grow towards the garden. So we train them to go back towards the fence line. We don't want it to grow this way, but that way. And that's our chokecherry just finishing blossoming there. These are the left of the blossoms. And then up here we can see our beautiful sea buckthorn berry female. I never see blossoms, but then all of a sudden I'll see the berries come. They're so tiny. And the golden currant there behind a surprise volunteer. You could still see some of the white flowers there climbing up the light post outside. That turned into the most beautiful white flower bush. And we've got some babies of it that we can get people if they'd like. Look at that Siberian Pea Shrub was just loaded next to the apricot tree. And there's the males of the sea berries on this side. And we do have some babies here of the female growing up the ground there so far. Started, and look at even our horse chestnut along with the regular chestnut over here. That's the regular chestnut there. They're really doing well. The comfreys are all coming up well. And now wait, maybe I spoke too soon. No, those aren't blossoms on this golden currant. It's just growing into a big tree, which we're fine with. You know, it's great, wonderful shade. As you can see, they really lean towards where the sun is facing west that way. They really lean. And there's the little pluot, and it's got lots of little pluot baby starting to develop into fruit. There's our apricot, another little baby sea buckthorn berry, and we've got a ton that grew under the fence outside the garden. And here come the new canes of the wild blackberry there. there. We're so happy because we were giving out to a family a bunch of wild blackberries. We accidentally killed the main mother. Here you can see it had died. But here come the new canes. There. Thank goodness we didn't kill it completely. There's new canes coming up everywhere. That's really nice. Next to this little pear here. That is going to have lots of pears. Here's the other little baby peach and the beautiful. This is the prettiest red currant here. We've got a branch we got to trim back, but you can see it's going to have tons of little red jewels on there. Just gorgeous. Under this big, beautiful peach. It's loaded with peach little babies. And here comes our thornless little blackberry there. Along the wild blackberry fence. See those new canes? Wow. Those are going to be strong. As long as they stay along the fence line, we're good. So hopefully this year we won't have that extreme heat. We'll have to watch and give it as much water as it needs. Last year we kind of starved everybody of water because the year before the irrigation system just cost too much, $3.50 in water on the new tier system of Orem City. And so I cut back last year watering by hand. And I kind of starved them, I think. So this year I won't be so hard on these plants. Give them enough water to produce good fruit. But even Grant's blackberry patch dried out because of the heat last year. So here where we started on the other side. And the smell is so amazing. Look at that cane of blackberry right there. We'll have to tie it up against the fence line here. Make sure it stays there. That's what we'll do tomorrow. And here comes a buffalo berry growing there. And that's a little hibiscus, Rose of Sharon, out there. But, to smell. I'm going to come out and cut some of these beautiful blossoms and bring them in the house. I spent a 12-hour day yesterday and was too busy and collapsed last night. Worked on the farm project for 3 hours with Linda and Chris. Oh, you guys, thank you for working so hard and helping us plant our cover crops of black beans and barley. Our second year on there. And it is holding moisture really well with the mulch we have there. When those grow, we'll collect the seeds and then we'll chop and drop all the cover crop plants for wonderful seeds. Isn't that beautiful? Behind the beautiful apricot tree there. And look at all these little potatoes growing with the comfreys this year. It's really neat. And here's a little wildwoods rose coming back there. It's really fun to see the growth in this food forest every year, how it evolves. It teaches us. We've got little mints along the edges of the basins like this. They come down. And then they go down through this hugel bed down to the other side between the other hugel bed there. It's just beautiful to see this little forest. And there's the alder with another crabapple that wasn't espalier originally, but we just let them go. You don't need to train trees. They know what they're doing. Isn't it beautiful to see all this? Growing, 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 and boy, this used to be so hot, no shade, and now these plants are so happy. They've got this filtered light, just like Jeff Lawton tells us. You want wonderful filtered light like this, and the plants do just great. Look at the raspberries, are so happy. The sea berries. Everybody's just happy under here with the filtered light. And we'll have some baby chokecherry little trees on each side of the fence for people. There's another baby sea buckthorn berry there. Look at these beautiful flowers. It's so fun to see all this. And these amazing, yummy yellow Siberian Pea Shrub flowers we've been eating throughout April. And there's a peach developing right there. I'm so excited. My little baby tree I love so much. Yes, you're getting lots of little peaches there, sweetie. That's wonderful. Thank goodness, huh? because we had a hard frost this year. Late hard frost right when these guys all bloomed. The 2 peach, the plum, and the Rainier were hit really hard. You can see this is where the frost came in to the garden here along the bamboo wall. And this is exactly where they burned the leaves. The frost just burned these leaves on this side, but the rest of it on the inside, thank goodness, is okay. Just this part here was really hit hard by the frost because it didn't have any protection. It's just exposed. We're hoping the bamboo wall will eventually get big. And that's another chokecherry that was a volunteer with dark purple leaves at first, and now it's coming really strong green. So, and look at how we trained the blackberries to stay along the fence line right here. It's really hard to see this time of day. We'll have to come back in the evening. So we've got the glare, but I'm going to come on this side and show you. This is the chokecherry volunteer. And here come what we saw 2 years ago. Every 2 years this is happening with our bamboo. On what we think are dead stalks, all of a sudden we have, oh, somebody came in and broke our shed, but we have the bamboo, little growth on dead bamboo stalks. It's getting the growth on it right there. It's amazing. So we'll have to have somebody fix our little shed for our rainwater harvesting. That waters the infiltration basins. It somehow got broken off. I'm not sure how, because this was the one that was loose and this one wasn't. That had to take a force to cause that. This is old fencing that we love. It's so pretty to make these. But we just love our little food forest. Look at how beautiful it is. Just pan around. Boy, we're going to have a lot of black hawthorne berries there. It's a wonderful herb. Tasha Nelson's going to teach us. Dr. Christopher's master herbalist, Tasha Nelson's one of the best herbalists I found, if not the best in Utah. And you could see everybody so happy here. And somebody's grabbing my hair. Hello. We gotta cut back the blackberries. We got lots of canes there. And there's another little bamboo shoot. 2 more there that are coming up. There's one that's part of a stalk there, so we won't take that off. And the little raspberries are coming back under the other peach, but he looks okay here. And we tested the blossoms the way Grant Holdaway taught us, our wonderful best mentor and best friend. Look at all those little potatoes. It's so fun to see. Behind our little plum, he taught us how to test the blossoms to see if that hard freeze froze them all the way on the inside, if the piston was black at the bottom. So we did test a lot, but you can see a lot of the blossoms fell off. Last year this guy was loaded with plums. So amazing. It was so delicious. But this year it looks like it's having a hard time. Look, you can see that gorgeous scarlet red hawthorn over there with all its beautiful blossoms. Wow. It's just gorgeous to see this beautiful, oh, the sun's there, sorry, forest. It's just so fun. And the purple hazelnuts there, filbert hazelnut. Our apricot tree was loaded with 5,000 apricots last year, but it just bloomed too soon this year and froze. I don't think we're going to have many this year. That's okay, buddy. You take a year off and rest. But it's so amazing to see so much growth going on in this food forest here. We just love it. As the cover crops are sprouting up, we're growing our seedlings of summer annuals, of herbs and veggies and melons and beneficial flowers to add to our mints in our food forest. Hello. We've got little baby garter snakes there that are so fun. Hello. And we do have little mice, so they keep each other in check and balance out. And our little other plum tree's getting bigger every year. The little yellow plums are pretty good. They're the Italian yellow plums. And there's our other Ayers pear. And we've got volunteer milkweed popping up all over this food forest. It's so neat. As grapes come back along the fence line there and up trees. There's a buffalo berry there. And we've had little quail hiding in the bottoms of the lilac. Oh, look at all those. Those are little French, I can't think of the word right now. I'll think of it in a second. And as we go down this wonderful shaded area, and the morning is so wonderful under these trees and bushes. And there's another little currant. And look at the patch that's sending out baby gojies everywhere, runners. Bumblebees have been enjoying everything, and here they are, a nanking cherry. Can't wait to taste these. They'll be the first berries in the garden we get to eat, and there's just loads of them. Lots of little nanking cherries. That's wonderful. Can't wait to eat those little nanking cherries. They're delicious. Behind the Josta berry. Why couldn't I not? D'Anjou pear. I knew it would come to my mind. Loaded with D'Anjou pears, loaded with Bing cherries. Let's find the flowers. The gojies are starting to bloom. It's been amazing to see as they bloom inside of the Josta berry there as they climb next to it. Everybody gets along. That's the Josta berry blossoms that have done. Now they're going to go to fruit and more goji berry patch. And the filbert hazelnuts that are getting tall, which is good, instead of a bush. Even though it's hard to get to the hazelnuts, we had our first hazelnut last year, so we can't wait to see more of them this year. But because it's kind of narrow in here, growing up will be better. And more of the patch of golden raspberries. And look at this. Huh? Goodness gracious, are we loaded or what? On our bush cherry. It's just loaded. They're so good too. Love them all. Next to our Bartlett pear that also is loaded up this year. Look at you. He's got a Siberian Pea Shrub, and here are the beautiful flowers of the comfrey that the bumblebees love so much. Both mineral accumulating, but we noticed that the drought-resistant hardier ones and grow bigger are the yellow dock, or called curly dock. You can see they're super hardy. They're starting to develop their flowers. And here's our beautiful elderberry little bushes here. And they've got some babies growing next to them there. And some more over here under the white mulberry there. It's loaded with mulberries. Here's the other elderberry. And our asparagus are going to seed next to the big scarlet hawthorn. We just planted this chokecherry here for more shade in this open area with the infiltration basin. We did a workshop 2 Saturdays ago, and everything's coming up really well. The mints, comfrey, there's a potato there, more mints. And next to our amazing golden delicious apple here. And he's got his companions coming up. Here's our, oh, look at this size of this curly dock. Tasha's going to love all these. And here's another little nanking cherry. That's brand new. We just planted last year. Next to the yellow cornelian. Look at the yellow cornelian. Cherries! Woohoo! It's beautiful. Alfalfa everywhere. This is our honeyberry. Boy, I tell you, it's been really fragile. It just needs more shade, I think, because they grow well in Logan in the cooler climate. So the more shade we get here, the better it'll do. There's another little baby honeyberry we bought a couple years ago. He's doing well. It's just beautiful behind the other black mulberry. There's the little black mulberries. Let's see if we can show you the little black mulberries developing there. just have too much glare right now. So that's going to be fun. Those are delicious. Behind the plum tree there. So there's our big Hall's Hardy all-in-one almond. You can see the almonds developing. There, our nursery back here. Here comes the beautiful, fast-growing, nitrogen-fixing Mr. Black locust. It'll have the sweetest smelling flowers. And there's our nursery of trees. Hardy heirloom, native to Utah. Sea berries we've got there, Nanking cherries as well, choke cherry, and all sorts of fruit trees that are hardier. It's really amazing to see all this just growing, growing, growing in our beautiful food forest. Come and visit Utah Valley Permaculture Classroom Gardens. We are doing tours. People are just wearing their masks and gloves, and we do family tours for the whole family. One at a time, educational, teach you everything about these plants and the water systems here, as well as how we design the guilds of native plants of Utah. And it's really fun to see what you can create. Come and create your own little Garden of Eden food forest like this. 801-808-4424. And then if you really want one, you'll take the 6-month design course, as many farmers and families are doing right now. And come to the food forest.